1999. No, wait. Doesn't matter. It was like 1999. I'm a young Marine. I'm in Chesapeake, Virginia at a security forces school. So my role there as a student is to learn how to be a basic security guard as a Marine for like embassies or, you know, places that get run down and then, you know, whatever, security guard stuff. But we're learning how to be badasses. I mean, for 18, 19-year-olds anyway. So we learn how to be badasses. So we're going through all this training. We're kicking in doors and shooting and moving and button hook and all this badass stuff. Close quarters battle with our MP5s and pistols. And at the end of the day, you feel like a legit badass, okay? When that stuff is over, you get into what we call King of the Hill, where you take the entire squad or platoon, you put them in a circle, and then one person comes out to the middle, another person comes out to the middle, and then you basically just fight. Now, I'm not saying you're necessarily punching each other in the face full force, but it gets pretty hairy, okay? A lot of fighting going on. We're Marines. We're young, a lot of testosterone, good times. But we're essentially young badasses, if you will. We like to think so. When the weekend comes, we actually get to go, like, basically Friday night or Friday afternoon happens, final formation at 4 o'clock. All right, we'll see you back Monday morning at 07. Enjoy your weekend. And then we take off. And we get to, like, take a shuttle to Virginia Beach. And with the little money that we have, we can spend during the weekend. You buy drinks, you buy dinner. I mean, that money does not go far. And of course, for someone like me that's a complete bozo and has no self-control whatsoever, I'm pretty much guaranteed to spend all my money on a hotel room and junk food. That is not an innuendo. That's completely exactly what I did. Well, I had this friend named Buster. Now, his actual name was Felix Adriano Echevarria. That's why I called him Buster. It was just a hell of a lot easier. Buster and I would take the shuttle. We'd go to Virginia Beach. Now, I don't remember. I think he was from Columbia. And I'm from New Hampshire. Wherever he was from in Columbia, I don't think it was a city because neither of us were city guys. So me and Buster take the shuttle, we get to Virginia Beach, we get a hotel room. Because it was like at the end of the pay period, we didn't have a lot of money left over. So the hotel room that we got was a little sketch, okay? Like it wasn't in a hotel, it was like a motel, okay? So a couple young Marines getting a motel, okay. The story is not going where you think it is. So we go out, we get a whole couple of bags of junk food. And we get to this motel, we watch TV, which is such a luxury, right? Because when we're training, we are in a room with 88 other guys in this one room. It smells like a giant butthole or a foot. Take your pick. It's horrible. And there's constantly noise. It's constantly fights. It's just a disaster. So for the two of us to go, get a motel room, and watch TV, oh, it was the best. And just sit there with your feet up. It was nice. And one night, turn off the TV. Buster's in the other bed. Obviously, I'm over here. It's pitch black. And except for like the light that comes through the curtain over the window. We fall asleep. All of a sudden, and I'm a light sleeper, right? So not much gets past me. All of a sudden, I hear this, shoo, and I sit up in the darkness. And I look, and I can see the door going out into the outside walkway. There's like an outside balcony where all of the doors are, okay? And for every room, you've got two doors side by side. You got the one door that goes into your room, and then you got your neighbor's door. And there's the windows, and you got the other doors. So our door opens. Okay, it's the middle of the night in Virginia Beach. As far as I'm concerned, as a young New Hampshire kid, this is terrifying. I'm about to die. But our door opens up, and the little chain is what stops it, because we put the chain up. Now I'm sitting there. I'm 18. No, hold on. Yeah, I'm 18 years old. I have been a Marine for like 2.5 months, if that means anything. I'm sitting there in the pitch black on my bed, and I see this door open up, and I can see the light coming through that crack in the door. And from that little amount of space that the chain is holding, I can see and hear a whole group of people. Now, at this point, there's a bunch of noise, there's a bunch of whispers and all this kind of stuff. And Buster sits up and he goes, this is going to sound so stupid. He goes, Buster, what's going on? He called me Buster too. I don't know why we did that, but we were both Buster. So Buster and Buster's Great Adventure, all right? Buster sits up and he goes, Buster, what's going on? I said, I don't know. Whole bunch of people out there. Now at this point, even in my sleepy state, I can hope it's a bunch of drunk people. They somehow ended up at the wrong room. And now that they see that the chain is up, they realize, oh, this isn't our room. Let's go away. This is not what happened. Whoever was at the front of that pile stuck their arm up into the door and was reaching for the chain. This is the point where it is legally viable to pee all over the bed, and no one can make fun of you ever when you tell this story in the future. After all of the training that we did and all of the fights that we had with each other, at times throwing each other around and punching each other in the mouth and all the kind of crazy stuff that we did, this is when you realize that shit ain't gonna work when it's me and Buster. It's Buster and Buster and a pile of drunk people. It's not gonna work. I'm about to be on the news for the wrong reasons. So the arm comes up, starts messing with the chain. I can hear the chain being fiddled with. I don't know if it's possible to get that chain off under these circumstances, but I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I thought, well, if I yell, I'm going to sound like a wuss. I'm not going to do that. I can't show Buster that I'm scared. I got to be strong for the both of us. So what do? Not knowing that this was an option that I had, not knowing that it was a gift that I had, I literally sat there in my bed and I went, and the guy rips his arm out of the door. One of them yelled dog, and they all took off. And the door sat there open. And Buster went, oh my God, what the hell was that? And I went, I don't know. I don't know what came over me. Like I was a werewolf. I had no idea I could even do that. And I did it, and it worked. We locked the door. We put a chair in front of it. We put the dresser in front of it because that was not about to happen again. And that, we believe, still to this day, saved my life. That is a 100% true story. You're welcome.